Hey everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan. We, of course, are going to look at the price. What is going on with Bitcoin? Well, I will talk about that because we are all correlated to Bitcoin. So it's very, very important to find out what Bitcoin is doing, because if it is weak, it brings all of the altcoins down with it. And also, Gary Gensler, what's he up to? Or should I say, what's he not up to? I want to share something about his inaction and action. And President Biden met with the Fed chair and Treasury Secretary Yellen. I want to tell you what the bottom line is with that meeting. And FLR Finance came out with a big announcement today. That is going to be fun to share with you. So first, we are going to see this tweet from C3 Nick. C3 Nick was on fire today on Twitter, and he said, here are some pro advice. Bookmark news items which show you technical analysis of the market. After a few weeks, check what actually happened. The result will enlighten you. You will never read that news ever again. Lots of freed up time to do actual research. Well, it's not only the news, it is also people. Here we have Crypto Man. This is Ron Noor. And it was funny, he said today on Monday, we would see a $43,000 Bitcoin. Well, he deleted that tweet. And we also had Pomp back on May 12th, where he said, I bought the dip. Thanks, Elon. Well, the price at that time was $43,000. I'd say today was a pretty good dip. Yeah, we saw a low price, a 5-month low just hours ago, 29,313. Looks like we're having a little bit of a bounce back. But what is causing this? Well, there is a seismic shift in Bitcoin mining, and it is causing, well, a downward price. I want to explain why. That fear and greed index is all the way down to 10, quite low. I think the lowest we have seen as of late was 11. And you have to just smile when you see Jungle Inc. out there when he asked Joel Katz, who is the CTO of Ripple, David Schwartz. He said, any financial advice would be greatly appreciated. If you know, this question is funny because the last time the two of them exchanged tweets was when David pretty much called the top of the market. And he said, this is probably going to be the most unpopular tweet I ever put out there, but maybe consider taking profit. Well, he was right. He called the top, and the reaction that he got from Jungle was pretty funny. So it was really nice to see that David responded back in his humor. He said, be yourself. That was his advice. Unless you can be a unicorn, in that case, be a unicorn. It's good. I like it. Well, yes, this seismic shift is big, and it probably is driving the price of Bitcoin down, and I want to explain why. We've got 26 crypto mining farms that have stopped this weekend, and this is in an area of China where 75% of the total global hash power was. And not all miners are heading west. No, this is the 5th largest Chinese miner, BTC.com. They're validating 10% of the blocks on the Bitcoin blockchain. They're going to go to Kazakhstan. But the point is that it takes time to get set up once these miners have left China. And I think there's going to be some who just say, we're out of this industry entirely. They're going to exit. And so when you've got this time of kind of reset, you really want to look at the Bitcoin mean hash rate. And you're going to see a lot of people talking about this. It was just in April, there was a record high, 198 quintillion hashes per second. It was a record. And the reason why it's important to look at this is that hash rate refers to the amount of computing or process power being contributed to the network through mining. And these powerful computers that are built for the task will take each equation, or try to solve the equation by producing 1,000,000 guesses per second, if you can believe it. And then if they do solve it, the mathematical problem, they get a reward, and that is in the form of receiving a Bitcoin. So a high hash rate also creates greater security, for one, and it also indicates a very healthy network. We're very, very low right now. You can see it's all the way down here where my mouse is, which is at the end of this kind of golden yellow line. And if you follow it back up, you can see the history of that mean hash rate all the way back to summer of 2020. The black line, or the grayish line here, is the Bitcoin price. So you can see how far the hash rate has dropped off. So the question a lot of people ask is, does price follow the hash rate, or does hash rate follow price? Well, I think the majority of people would say the latter is true, because a higher Bitcoin price means more profit earned for every coin that is mined. Miners, when they're making money, they expand with more machines, and they are pushing that hash rate up in the network. When the price is low, many miners have to sell a significant portion of their mined Bitcoins just to pay for expenses. And so you can imagine all that hash power that left China. So they are out of the network right now. They no doubt have a huge expense to move. So we have this downward pressure on the price. So then when you have this low price, it discourages new money to flow in, and it creates this kind of loop of a bearish cycle. I think that is where we are at right now. It's going to take time for those miners to reset, and it'll take time for the investors to feel comfortable that a bottom has been achieved and there is some upward momentum happening to jump back in. So there are a lot of people who are trying to increase the demand. One of those is Jan van Eck. He is trying to get the Bitcoin ETF through, but Gensler is just dragging his feet. I want you to listen to this quick portion of a video that came out today.
And welcome to ETF Edge, your go-to place for everything exchange-traded funds. I'm your host, Bob Pisani. Two experts in crypto assets today, but a lot more than that. These guys know a lot about a lot of different subjects. We're going to pick their brains here. Rick Edelman is the founder of Edelman Financial Engines, the #1 RIA, that's a registered investment advisor in the U.S. He founded the RIA Digital Assets Council 3 years ago. He's with us, along with Jan van Eck, my old friend, Jan van Eck from Van Eck, an authority on commodities, and the man behind the Bitcoin ETF. Jan, last week, we got to start with this again. The SEC again delayed that Bitcoin ETF. They now have a thumbs up or down date. August 3rd, I think, is the next one. Gary Gensler, the head of the CEO, has already expressed concerns about fraud and manipulation, even though he taught cryptocurrencies at MIT. What handicap for us? What's going on here? Are we going to see a Bitcoin ETF this year?
Well, it doesn't sound like the chairman is putting it high on his agenda. So, I leave it. I don't have any inside information on this, but we've been through this application cycle, so they don't need to really make a decision in August. It's sort of an artificial deadline, as was the one last week. So, it is what it is. Other regulators are bank regulators internationally, the OCC, a lot of other regulators are looking at how banks can get involved. I would say that's interesting news. State Street has announced they've created a new division for digital assets, but the SEC is just not moving fast on this.
No. So, I just think that this is another example of Gensler not really helping the market along at all. And on Monday, President Biden also met with the Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell and Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen to discuss climate change inclusion. And they put out this short readout, and the bottom line is they said the financial system is in strong condition. Well, Gensler is taking action when it comes to a new mandate that he's going to push through for a disclosure that will include climate risk for companies to give their investors. This, of course, is going to be favorable for Ripple, and especially if they go public. And XRP will benefit from this because the XRP and XRP ledger are very green. But have a listen to this portion here.
In the last segment, of course, Gary Gensler, SEC chair, and some meetings today involving the president as well. All of this around a lot of different things. But one key part of it from the SEC's perspective is increased disclosure from U.S. corporations in terms of the risks that climate change poses for their businesses and how, in fact, they will respond and or disclose. Interesting article today in the Journal talking about resistance among some corporations. In part because, well, how are you really going to measure and explain? Can you do so in an adequate form, Jim, in some way, in a SEC filing? Or is it going to actually lead to perhaps more confusion rather than clarity?
Well, I think it'll add to more clarity down the line, but you can see that this particular mandate and this focus is high on Gensler's agenda. All right, there is a new announcement out today, very exciting, FLR Finance. If you want to partake in the DFLR snapshot, all you need to do is just put your FLR, your Spark token, on one of these providers and you will receive it automatically. This is the Decent wallet, the @Ledger, the Bifrost wallet, MetaMask, Uphold, BitTrue, or Bicky English. And I think there might be maybe a couple of more other wallets coming. I read something. I'm not positive on that. But this is very exciting because this is why I am wanting to really be in this space. I'm excited for the FLR Networks platform to launch because I want to participate. I want to make as much money as possible in this space. So I am definitely going to be one of those that utilize my Spark token, and I am definitely going to swap out my DFLR for YFLR so I can participate in all the products that FLR Finance has. And if I have to pay tax on the money I make, that's 2 thumbs up from me. And for those people who want to opt out of the 3% in the future of FLR, another 2 thumbs up from me, because that means all the more FLR for the people who do participate. That is how I am feeling. All right, everybody, we are jumping to the fluff, and we are going to talk about something really fun. This is a big reveal that just happened yesterday, and it is with the domestic airline here in Japan called Skymark. They're one of the discount airlines. They're really, really popular. You can get to Okinawa, for example, from Nagoya, and that's going all the way down to the southern islands for just like $35. It's unbelievable. I think it would be something like a JetBlue in the United States, if you've ever used that airline. Yeah, Southwest used to be so inexpensive, but I have found over the last few years, Southwest is not so inexpensive anymore. But this is the domestic discount airline, and they have their 25th anniversary. And there's somebody else that also has a 25th anniversary. That would be Pokemon. So, of course, a collaboration, as Japanese love to do. They have created the Pikachu Jet. Yeah, and of course, here it is at the check-in counter. Everything is themed with Pokemon. And there is the jet. It was really fun in the ceremony. They had a lot of little Pikachu that came out of the plane. The attendants are going to be wearing themed uniforms. Everyone's trying to get row 25 because it has these special surprises in the airplane. I did a little bit of research. You get like a blanket, slippers, neck rest, and things. I think a balloon. Could they actually do a real balloon on the plane itself? I don't know about that. And the plane that is flying from 5 locations down to Okinawa, it is to promote the tourism to the island. And you can see Pikachu here is even wearing the traditional Okinawan shirt, which is called a karyushu. So you will be able to take this domestic flight somewhere from Japan to Okinawa if you want to see the beautiful Pacific Islands of Okinawa. There are multiple islands down there, and it's just really so beautiful. Beautiful water, beautiful people, just lovely. It's so different than Tokyo. It's like comparing New York City to, oh gosh, I don't know. I can't. Hawaii is so unique. You can't really. Maybe comparison to like Kauai or Maui. Yeah, something like that. That's how different Okinawa is from Tokyo. And I do have kind of a special little announcement coming soon. I can't tell you the details yet. I'll just give you one clue. Yeah, it has something to do with Pokemon. That's all I can say. All right, everybody, do take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.